Hey you guys, it's just on the case. So there's a story that I want to talk about, and it is the Madeline McCann story. If you see my complexion change, it's because I'm sitting right in front of the fire. Anyway, Madeline McCann was 3 or 4 years old when she became missing. Her parents were um, the McCains. I can't even think of their name right now. But she became missing um, when her parents took a vacation, um, and they took a vacation from the UK. Her parents were from the UK and they took a vacation. The vacation they took, however, I really don't think that they should have brought the kids if they felt like that the kids were not going to be cared for properly. That leads me to the story. Um, there was also a mother who took her child to something in Florida, and a alligator ate the child because they were being unattentive. So this story kind of reminds me of that story, even though they're different in many different ways. Madeline was only 3 or 4 years old. Madeline had a brother and a sister that were twins. Her mother and father could not conceive at first. So they ended up dabbling in their doctors, so they looked through and they found a way to conceive. And so she finally had Madeline. She wanted a child so bad. So when Madeline came, her mom was ecstatic. Her father was too. Then comes Sean and his sister, which are the twins. So when Madeline basically, went on this trip, there were other people with the parents. Their actual friends went with them on this actual trip. And being a doctor, you have a social light. You have people that want to hang out with you. You have like a lot of people that just want to hang out, and you have friends. So what actually happened was, in the daytime, the parents would take the kids to the little daycare that was right there with the resort. Sorry, with the resort. There was a daycare. The parents would also go to tennis and do tennis. The mom, Mrs. McCann, she would run. The father would do his tennis thing. Sometimes mom would join him while the kids would be at the daycare. However, when nighttime fell upon them, as we all know as adults, my only problem with this story, I do not like people, bashing parents. Oh, you guys are like leaving your kid here and you're going out. Okay, the leaving the kid in the house part and going out for hours and hours is bad. But parents, come on. You guys go out and you party at night. Don't try to make them seem like they're just so bad because they party. The only thing that I can see that they did wrong right now while I'm speaking is they left the kids at home. If there was a daycare that accepted the kids, why were you leaving them in the house when you were taking them to daycare anyway? You were taking them to daycare the whole time. Then you just decided that you were not going to take them to daycare at nighttime. That is the most important time. That's the time you need to take your kids to daycare. When it's nighttime and you're wanting to party and you don't have anywhere for them to go, or you don't want them to go anywhere. You need to take them to daycare, not leave them in the house by themselves. I don't care if you're 500 feet, 10 feet away. If you're not going to be attentively watching them, then you need to put them in daycare. That is number one reason they messed up. Number two, the McCanns say that they, in and out, kind of checked on the kids to see if they were sleeping, to see if they were okay. But their story is not collaborated or corroborated with. Someone, actually, someone who lived above them said that one of the nights they heard Madeline, which they call her Maddie, crying and crying and crying for 2 hours until her parents came in. Now, if you were checking on your kids every hour or every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes, why would Madeline be crying for almost 2 hours? That doesn't add up. Another thing that doesn't add up with me, you go in to check on Madeline and the babies, and the wind slams the door closed. Now that's a big room. Why? I'm not getting the door thing. I understand pressure. I understand about the wind, and I've had that happen to me before. I don't understand why she explained that. I just felt like her story had too many details in it for her to be innocent. That's just what I'm saying. Like, okay, you could be innocent, right? And if you're innocent, you're going to tell your story like this. So I went to check on my kids, and they were all sleeping. And then I came back, and they were gone. I have no idea. You're not going to be like, oh, so I went to check on Madeline and Sean and them, and the wind was blowing in the window, and all of a sudden the door just slammed. I just felt the pressure from. I'm going to be so worried about my kid. I'm not going to be thinking about no window. And now, Madeline's still not found. Let me move you guys up to date. It is December of 2018. Madeline has not been found. What happened is, this is what Miss McCann said. She said that what happened was that she went into the room and she looked around and she realized that Madeline was not in her bed. Now, if you left your door open, why would you even expect your child to be in your bed? Honestly, if you guys want my opinion, this is my opinion only. I believe that Madison was dead way before all this happened. I believe Madison wouldn't go to bed and she kept crying because remember, she was crying the night before. I believe Madison cried and cried and cried. And I believe they gave her some sleeping medicine. Tried to wake her up later on during the night. Madison wouldn't get up. And I believe that they, being doctors, realized Madison had her heart stopped and she was dead. So at that point, it's not murder. It's I want to shut my child up so I can go have fun. But I made an accident and killed my child. If I turn myself in, I'm going to be arrested. My husband's going to be arrested. We're going to lose our doctor's license and we're going to lose our kids. So what she did was they got rid of the body. Martha and Mark Smith, down the road a little bit more, saw a man carrying a child. And they say that it was Mr. McCann. So the sketches that they show, and you guys go look at the sketches. Look at Mr. McCann's hairline. I've noticed something about him in interviews lately. Mr. McCann tries to make a bang right here now. But if you go back before he realized that they had a actual picture up of an individual, and before he thought Mr. Mark and Mrs. Martha Smith thought that he did it, he was wearing his hair back. Exactly the way the photo shows. The photo shows a man with hair slicked back. Kind of reminds me of Mr. McCann. Both photos. And it's kind of weird because one of them looks like a white man. The other one looks like he's kind of in a different something. And I'm just like, okay, if that's you, Let me go look at the pictures. So I go back and look at his pictures coming up to date, and guess what I see? Mr. McCann throwing his little bane out to hide that slick back that he was wearing during their little outing. He thinks he's slick. You wear your hair slicked back during the outing with your wife, and now that you see they have this picture out, and this is just my opinion. This is the disclaimer. Now you want to wear it a little bit out, comb it down a little bit. I can tell. I see the difference between the photos from beginning to now, and you try your best not to look that person, but you also have this right here. And it's funny how Miss Smith and Mr. Smith remember this. And I looked at you and I saw that and I was like, wow, that is dead on. Like, you really did this to your daughter? I don't, like I said, I don't think they killed her intentionally because they are doctors and they have the right towards medicine. I think maybe they just gave her the medicine and kind of accidentally killed her. That takes me to the story of Casey Anthony. Did the same thing. Made an accident and gave Kaylee too much medicine. And I think that's why Kaylee's dead. So I'm like, is this what the new thing is in the world? When we can't calm our kids down, we can't get them to do what we want them to do, we now go towards medicine and we use medicine to calm them down. We would rather use medicine not knowing if we're going to kill our kids or not. Because you can be a doctor and you can make a mistake. They make them all the time. But now, this kid is dead. Nobody's telling me anything. This kid is dead. Madeline is dead. And they know where she is. And that's my opinion. I don't care what the parents say at this point. You guys paid your mortgage off with the GoFundMe account for Madeline. You are getting about to get sued by a detective named Mr. Gonzalez because you guys are just petty. You're just downright just despicable. You left your kids, 3 kids, 2-year-olds and a 3-year-old, in a house by themselves, in a neighborhood, in a country you don't belong. I have nothing for you for that. There is no, you're not innocent. Even if someone did kidnap or kill them, you're not innocent. You helped. You helped them. You helped make it, but right, that much easier for them to kill her. That much easier for them. Who tells people, oh yeah, I left the door open, so it'd be easy access for me to get in there so I could check on Madison and the kids. So you left the door open so it could be easy access for you, or so you can make it seem like after you killed Madison, I would say Madison, Lord, she done pissed me off. Madeline, after you killed, I'm going to say Maddie, after you killed Maddie, you decided, I'm going to leave this door open. Let's just be real, guys. Let's just think rational. I'm going to leave this door open because I know she's dead. And I'm going to pretend like I'm leaving the door open so I can check on them quicker. But really and truly, I already know one of them is dead and I did it. So that'll be one of my alibis. Then I'm going to put in the story about the window. The window was not touched. I need these police officers to wake up. Honestly, if you don't find fingerprints on a window sill or even a glove print that doesn't give a print, nobody never got there. It was the parents. Go back to John Bonnett's case. Oh, someone broke into the window. How is it so similar to this case? It's a lot with Kaylee Anthony and but John Bonet in this case. That some of those similar things. Like if you don't talk, you get away with murder. You can have the best makeup in the world, you get away with murder. This lady gets on TV, she is just like fly. All of her hair is in one spot. Nothing is out of place. She's the bomb. And she just looks flawless. But her daughter's dead. She should be looking kind of worried, stressed out. Not one stress bone in her face at all. I'm concerned because I'm like, that was my kid. I would definitely be stressed. I would definitely show that I'm worried. But they say that they have to keep the attitude up for whoever killed her, so they don't think that they have to, pull off of their negative energy because they're crying and stuff. So I'm just like at this point, like, wow, this is really crazy and this is really bad. This little girl did not deserve this, and now she's dead. I'm not gonna say she's out there somewhere, and people don't need to be making up lies saying that they're her. This girl is dead. She's not coming back, guys, and her family knows she's dead. That's why they saying they got to keep going with their lives. They can't dwell on just that. No, because they know that she's dead. They know she's not coming back. They know that Madeline's dead. They knew Madeline was dead the night they went out and partied. That's basically what they did. They didn't want all those kids. If they did, they wouldn't have to put them to bed with medicine. They didn't want all of them. And they honestly, in the parenting program, they really didn't know what they were doing. They knew they wanted kids. And maybe that's just a part of something they think that is part of life. That honestly, they didn't want all those kids. Maybe they were like, well, we'll have one more. We'll have Madison, and we'll have this one. And it didn't come out like that. They ended up having two more, and then Madison. And that was too much for them. And then, wanting to party because they feel like they're stuck with kids. They're always working. They got out there and they did something really stupid. And then now they're getting ready to get hit with a suit that they need. They need to be hit with this. They're wrong. They're wrong. I hope he fries them. They're wrong. Even if you didn't mean to, you caused your daughter to death. Either way you look at it, you left her in the house by herself with her two younger siblings. That's in telling, oh, Madison is 3 or 4. They're 2. She can talk. That's what I think. And then on top of that, you leave them in there sleeping, and then you leave the door open. And then you stage the crime to have the window open to make it seem like somebody came through the window and got her. Who the hell is going to come out of a window knowing they're going to get caught to get a little girl? A window that's not even open. And if the police said they looked and they didn't find anything on the window to say somebody broke in, why are you even talking about? Why did you put the window in at the last minute? Nobody else told the story about the window but you guys. Your friends didn't tell the story about the window. The people that own the hotel that you guys stayed in, they disappeared. And they were your friends. It's like you made them disappear so they wouldn't have to tell their side of the story because their side of the story didn't go with yours, coincide with your side of the story. So you made them disappear for a while out of the public eye. They pop up in 2 months later. It's just, how much did you really care about your daughter? To me, you didn't care about her at all. And Maddie will never be forgotten. You can be in another state. This affected the whole world. This affected everyone. And I hope you guys never forget what you did to her because you weren't there for her. I hope you just, every day you eat, you think about how she didn't get to eat and how you allowed her life to be snuffed out so quickly because you were unthoughtful of your child or the kids, the other two, the 2-year-olds. What if all of them would have got taken? No, Maddie got taken. And you're saying you just want to go ahead and continue with your life? How can you continue with your life unless you know your child's dead? You know she's dead. That's why you can continue because you know that she's in a better place because you put her there. Anybody else would be worried to death. They would have wrinkles all over their face. They would get on TV and wouldn't care how they look. This lady gets on TV, straight hair, makeup on fleek, and she's just flawless. all the time, knowing that that little girl died at the hands of her and her father because they were careless. Careless with the medicine, careless with how they put her to bed, careless with how they secured them in a country. If you knew you were going to go to this country and you were going to party and you weren't going to be thinking about kids, why did you bring them? You guys make a lot of money. I know parents that are better than you that don't even have a whole lot of money that would never leave their kids at home. And it's sad that you both are doctors and you left Maddie at home by herself and the two other ones. And you could have got the babysitter that was right there that you take them to normally anyway in the morning or the evening, afternoon. Why at nighttime do you feel like it's okay to leave these kids in the house when there are predators out there? Why? Why? Why do you think it's okay that you're in a foreign place and you can leave your kids in the house by themselves? Who advised you guys that was okay? And now, when someone asks you a question that you don't want to answer, you get an attitude. Oh, really? We want to get an attitude because we don't want to answer 49 questions? We only want to answer one question? Oh, so now you can pick how many questions you can ask about a little girl missing. But you love her so much, you're her mother. And I'm speaking directly on the mother, Miss McCann. That was your daughter. And if someone asked me 15,000 questions about my child, I would answer them if I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my child. If I love my child so much, I don't care if I did do something wrong. I would eventually crack because I love my kids so much. I would eventually crack and just go ahead and let them know, yeah, man, something bad happened and I need to talk to somebody. No, you're gonna continue to brush people off, not answer questions, evade the law. When I say evade the law, I don't mean run. I mean evade questions that could help in her disappearance. But you can answer but one question out of the 49 questions. And then when police officers changed the story to, okay, maybe you guys have it all wrong. It wasn't the man that was picking up his kid from the daycare that lived near you guys. He was actually legit. He was picking his kid up. You guys were so drunk. You didn't even know that there was an extra person living in that condo, whatever it was, that was picking his kid up. But you had your friends lying for you. They should feel bad. They probably drink every day because they know something fishy about this. But hey, they want to be loyal. If you guys want to be loyal to Madeline. Madeline lost her life at the hands of her parents. You don't like what I'm saying? Fine, get off my channel. But I don't sugarcoat when it comes to kids or someone dying. This little girl was accidentally killed and then consciously tucked away somewhere. The cadaver dogs, oh, I knew that they weren't going to trust those dogs. Cadaver dogs are who you can trust. They can find human remains each time. And these particular dogs, they win awards all the time, 99% of the time. Then you know that they know what's going on. You know they on point. So why would you even try to come up with a lie about the cadaver dogs? They don't know what they're doing. No, you didn't know what you were doing when you gave Madeline that medicine and put her to sleep. Because you're human. Even though you're a doctor, you're human and you make mistakes. And you should feel bad that your child is somewhere laid to rest and you know where she is because you waited weeks and you hid her from police until they started searching stuff and then you moved her and tucked her away. So you want to be real and you want to be nasty and you want to be nonchalant and you want to move on with your life. I hope your life is a living hell because she didn't deserve that. And some people are not going to say this, but this is my opinion. And I don't care what people think. This is a 3 or 4 year old child. Just put yourself in this in this in the shoes, and your child's missing. You're not going to be talking nicely. And the last thing she said, I mean, she knows I love you, her. Girl, what kind of love do you have going on? I mean, she know I love her. I mean, I don't know if she knows if you love her or not. And I don't know if you really care. Talking about, I mean, she know I love her. What? That doesn't even make sense. But like I said, you guys go check out Madeline McCann and keep her story alive. Because she died at the hands of her parents and they're getting away with it. And I hope whoever sues them gets them really good. And that's my opinion and my opinion only. And I can say what I feel and say what I want.